huge thank you to Athena for doing the new YouTube channel opening. That awesome 12-second intro was done by Athena, so thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. Keeping the A alive. So we've been using for our family names. Can I show mine? We got the A. So that special A there. I think no, not that one. Ogre. No. I think it's Magic. Yeah, Magic. So here, another brother of mine, Magic DJ. So we've got the A for the family symbol. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, Athena, again. Just fantastic. I can't do any of that editing. I'm too stupid for all of that. So this is fantastic. Got a good card. Got 175k merit so far for Season 3. And no war on the horizon. So, just going to start off, and this video is going to talk about the differences between the Bruin Bear and the Venomous Lizard. So, I've started doing a little bit of testing here and there, but both test runs weren't perfect. So, we're going to start off with the Bruin Bear that is the new unlocked pet in Season 3. So in Season 3, you get the Bruin Bear, you also get the Shadow Fey Drake. So Bruin Bear versus Venom Lizard. Which one's better? What are the pros and cons? So as you can see here, this is my current Bruin Bear. Now, we've only got the 2S, and it is 8 slot, so that is something to keep in mind. And then with my Venomous Lizard here, we've got a 7 slaughter with 2 S's as well. So both pets aren't that great. They're probably, B tier to A tier level pets here that I've built so far. So my strategy was to hold on to everything for pets and then put it all into the Bruin Bear, but I'm not necessarily convinced that the Bruin Bear is the right way to go. So the difference in the initial testing, and I'm going to do a lot more, is right now my initial skill is only 1 star. Versus the Venom Lizard has the 2 star, but my Intense Infection is only 1 star, where the Intense Quickening is the 2 star there, determined by Endurance. So really we're playing with 2 S ranks here that really matter, and then we've got the Agility and Strength there that really matter. So they're both 2 S rank slots that we've got, but we've got similar builds with the Counter Strike. Now we do have the Angry Roar 2 stars and the Blood Roar 1 star versus 0 stars on both of these, but I am running that Counter Strike package as well, and I've just got the Tooth and Claw in there. So there is some other skills that are better for the Bruin Bear, as well as for the Venom Lizard, so I could create them to be better. Just depends on how much I do want to invest into each of those. So just to start off, we're going to talk about the difference between the rage skills on the 2 pets. So this one here is Gain Charged. Each counter attack against an enemy legion inflicts 1 stack of barbed mark, max stack 3. The next time the hero casts a rage skill, they deal damage to up to 5 surrounding enemies. Enemy carrying barbed mark, and clears all stacks of barbed mark from those enemies. So it is based off of strength there, and my strength is a 263. So the first thing to notice is this is going to hit 5 surrounding enemy legions carrying barbed mark. Versus the Venom Lizard, 12% chance to inflict poison on an attacker for 3 seconds when your legion is hit by a normal attack. Okay, very far range. So the big difference is the infection is going to hit mages and archers, where the Bruin Bear here, the quickening, is only surrounding enemies. See, I thought initially that the Moon Bear was only the surrounding enemies, and this was anyone that you're dealing counterattack damage to, but that's not. It's just who is nearby. So that's the big difference between the two pets there. So this is more... actually, I'll get to that at the end of the video when I draw a little bit of conclusions there. So that's the Venom Lizard. We've got this is based off of agility, so we've got the 235 agility, so we've got 263 strength, so a bit more strength for the main skill than I do have agility for this main skill here. So we're going to go over the reports here, and... oh, hey, Will. Baby Atlas. So we're going to go over the reports, and this wasn't proper testing because we didn't isolate and do the exact same, but I am going to go over this. So first off, Levy and I went and fought together. So we're just going to go over what happened here. So units 239 to 243. He's got way more healing, 0 deaths, but Sev wounded, 36 to 21. So I lost this match, as you can see. I lost both, spoiler. And then lightly wounded, 206 to 135, remaining 0, remaining 91k for 13k merits. Going over the Legion buffs, so we could just see this here. I'm at 5111 with a level 3 and a 5111. Where his Skogul is 5232 and his Goresh was 5511. Now his pet here, this Venom Lizard, does have that 2-star infection. He does have the Counter-Strike package going on. Now I don't know what the Blood for Blood and the Robust Body is doing there, but that's fine. So he's basically playing a 4-slot Lizard kind of idea there, and then my Bruin Bear, as you've already seen before. So these are kind of the buffs that were going on there. Now, the big thing is the stats here. So the commander skill, 12.7k. Deputy skill, 17.5. So he does have a few more skill points than that. But the big thing is that we're looking at here is going to be the war pets and how well did the war pet do. So we can see there's 5k damage here versus 2.6k damage here. Okay. Normal attack. The other thing that I'm going to point out is artifact damage. 3k and 1.1k. Okay. So with this one, I just used the artifact twice. I cast twice, once at the beginning of the fight and once at the end of the fight. So that's where the 3k comes, and that was a mistake, but the big mistake that I made that I will show next. So this was the first one at 13k merits. This is the second one here at 13.1k. So we've got the Sev wounds 35, 22, 207, 140. So there's a few less units there, so we basically got 200 more merits. But we're going to show what ended up happening. So we've got 36, 21. So this was 36, this is 21, lightly wounded. So Legion buffs, as you can see, we're running the exact same setup, but I accidentally had autocast on. So you could see the difference was 3.9. I think it was 3.9 in total. Yeah, 3.9 extra, 3.9 thousand extra damage from because I left autocast on for the artifact. So that was my issue there. So I screwed up in the testing. But as you can see, I believe it's the commander performed worse, 13.7. Nope. Performed 1k better. There. So performed 1k better. Deputy healing 318. War pet. So the big thing to count in here was when I ran the Venom Lizard, I'm at 5.5k to Levy's 3.8k. So I really appreciate you doing these fights with me, Levy, so we could kind of look at that. You could see the counterattack damage. He absolutely crushed me, and the normal attack damage. But taking into account that I had the autocast left on, my lizard really didn't outperform the Bruin Bear all that much. I mean, there's like so 5.5k versus his 3k, or sorry, versus his 2.6. So that's double the damage with the Venom Lizard, but in terms of merits, that's only a difference of 200. So it did outperform. It did outperform, but only slightly. So in terms of a 1v1, I'm wondering if I stack my Bruin Bear to a 2-star, will my Bruin Bear start outperforming the Venom Lizard when it comes to a 1v1 duel? So that's kind of the first kind of test fighting against each other with that. Now I'm going to show Athena and Queen both. I got them to swarm my Skogul Goresh. And we'll kind of go over this and what was used. So this first one's going to be the Bruin Bear here. So as we can see, it didn't attack any of the ranged legions. That's going to be the main thing to pop out here. And we got the 1.5k. So 1.8k was the damage versus, we got some healing there. So some counterattack, some damage. 1.1. Here we go. So this is going to be the main thing that threw off the entire fight, was Queen and Athena, and this was my mistake as well. They didn't reset. So because they didn't reset, they were damaged from the initial fight with the Bruin Bear. As you can see, 1.9k damage there. So both of them were damaged going into the second fight where they're fresh against the Bruin Bear. Do I have an overall? So overall we did 45.6k versus 84.9k. So we can kind of see what that entails there. And then, you know, did some counterattack damage. But yeah, just pointing out again that the Bruin Bear didn't really fight. And if we go to Legion buffs, you can see that I haven't leveled up my Goresh Skogul. You can see it's the exact same. So I did the 2 fights with Levy, then I did 2 fights with Athena and Queen there. So Queen of Hearts 07, so thank you so much for helping out with this kind of little experiment. So the second one, we got 46.5k and 11. So the difference was 600k merits in total. 600k, no, that doesn't make sense. 600 merits, I believe, was the difference. Do we still have it? Actually, we should. Reports, PvP. So there's the ones with Levy. There we go. So, yeah. It was 6k merits was the difference, but that's because I killed the March. So because this March was already in yellow, I got that 6k merits right here. So if we cancel the 6k merits, it technically outperformed with the Bruin Bear than with the Venom Lizard in terms of merits. So this is where I need to do more testing, and it's kind of unclear to me, because if we subtract these amounts of merits, or, you know, subtract it in, let's say, half, then it's about the same. It performed basically the same, and because all of their legions were already damaged because they never reset, it's not clear to me that the Venom Lizard does ultimately kick the Bruin Bear to the curb. So, but there is really interesting. So if we put stats here, though, we could see the damage on the Venom Lizard, 7.1k doing damage to ranged. That's pretty good. Like, I mean, it's not great, but then we got an 8.7k. So the lizard is dealing extra damage there at range. Only 679 there, but we got the counterattack and we've got the damage there. Let's see here, 2.5k. So in terms of damage, though, so we can look at this. We can take the Madeline Garwood, and we can do 1.5k there on the second. And then let's take Queen's Madeline Garwood. Madeline Garwood, 1.8k. So 1.8k. 1.8. Oh yeah, he joined in the second fight as well. So more enemy legions, 1.8 versus 1.5. So when it came to being swarmed, I dealt more damage to the infantry units with my Bruin Bear than with the Venom Lizard. But the Venom Lizard did hit the ranged units, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, so he joined in the second fight there, which also skewed the results. So that was one of the problems there as well. And we can see 46.5k to 111, 195 to 297, and then 45.6. So really, even because they were all wounded, that's only, that's one more K. 7 wounds. One more K. So, about 111, 297, 309, 84. So that's about 20k. And just like less than 10k difference. So it came out that the Venom Lizard did do more damage. We saw that, and we saw that it hit more. So it hit not as hard, but it hit more legions. Well, and I mean, to the ranged legions, it did way more, because it was like 7 and 8k damage versus, versus 0. So it's still not clear to me. So it's still not clear to me which is actually better. The Bruin Bear versus the Venom Lizard. So everyone's saying that the Venom Lizard is cut and dry better than the Bruin Bear for Goresh Skogul. I don't know. I'm not fully convinced yet. I think having one of each is great, because if you run out of stamina, you could put the other in. And just talking with Mad Max about it here, or Maddest Max. So Venom Lizard is versatile, universal pet, obviously, because we use it with our other marches, as he agrees here, because you can use it with archers, sometimes with calves too. And Bear, so you're not really losing out. So talking with him, we're kind of in agreement there. So yeah, I'm still gonna do some more testing, still gonna work on my Bear, but oh yeah, I guess I'll finish off with drawing the conclusions. So the conclusion that I've drawn to is, if you're fighting more infantry and cavalry marches, the Bruin Bear is actually going to take the cake. The more melee focused the fight, the better Bruin Bear is. So he's going to be better if you're getting swarmed. So your garrison, so far the conclusion that I've drawn is, my theory is Bruin Bear is going to be better for your garrison. He's going to be better for your rallies. He's going to be better for if you're fighting more cavalry and infantry. But if you're fighting in the open field and there's a lot less infantry marches, so let's say you're doing Battle Abyss and you're fighting mostly ranged marches, only, I mean, when I do Battle Abyss, there's only maybe 4 people that play infantry. So really, I think the Bruin Bear is losing out on that. And in that case, your Venomous Lizard is going to be the better bet. So if you're fighting in the open field and there's a bunch of ranged marches that's going to be hitting your tanks. The Venom Lizard, I think, is going to take the cake there. So it kind of depends if you're playing against enemies that, maybe they're launching some big cav marches and stuff like that. Then your Bruin Bear is going to take the cake versus your Venom Lizard if you're fighting more ranged marches. So that's kind of the conclusion that I'm initially drawing to, and it's not cut and dried to me which one is actually better. I think both of them have their pros and cons, and they're better in different circumstances. I guess they're not even pros and cons. I just think that they're different in different circumstances. So that's so far. So just wanted to talk about the difference between the Bruin Bear and the Venomous Lizard.